Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. We'd like to get started. We'll make our start with the pledge and prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Gracious Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunities you provide for us. We ask you to be with us as we conduct the affairs of the county, that we do what's best for the majority of the people and what you guide us to do. We ask you to be with those who travel through our communities today, and that especially you be with our workers, those who, the sheriff's deputies and the highway people and the people in all the departments that have to travel on the roads today. Just keep them safe. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order and entertain a motion for the signing of the claims and minutes.
Make a motion for the approval of claims and minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Steve Moriarty, County Highway Superintendent. Nothing again today. Very good. Corey Humes here today. Come on down, Corey. Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Hi,
Looks like
how
you
are
got
you
your hands
today?
full of convention and visitor
I know.
stuff.
Yes.
That's good. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time this morning.
Well, you're
Thank you.
welcome. It's our pleasure.
Good morning again. Thank you for my opportunity to present to you just a quick update of all the happenings at the Kosciuszko County Convention and Visitors Bureau. As you may know, that we are the destination marketing organization responsible for promoting Kosciuszko County as an attractive destination. We also work hard to enhance Kosciuszko's public image as a dynamic place to live, work, and play. Why is this important? Visitors boost our economy and assist in sustaining jobs in the hospitality industry. The economic impact of travel in Kosciuszko County is significant. A study we conducted last year showcased that we had roughly $272 million in visitors spent to our communities, and we supported about 2,548 jobs in that hospitality world. So economic impact is major for travel and tourism here in Kosciuszko. It also, to this report, travel generated about $64.1 million in tax revenues in 2022, which is a significant bounce back from post-pandemic. So we're happy to see that. Tourism is valuable to enhance quality of life, attract and retain talent in our county as well. We defined a visitor as someone who wants to come to Kosciuszko County, either that be a leisure visitor, visiting our trails, lakes, etc. A group, our corporate travel is big with all of our industries, and we're also someone that is looking to live, work, and play, or also do business here. Our visitor center does serve as a county resource for the variety of visitors for a variety of reasons. We provide outdoor recreation, arts and culture, shopping and dining, and so much more to those that are visiting our visitor center. And then 2023, we increased visitor traffic by about 27%. So we're seeing more and more people visit inside the visitor center located off of US 30. Just some quick little updates. We're always working with our local, regional, and state collaborations on trying to promote Kosciuszko County. Our digital efforts combined in 2023 provided at least, reached about 1,331,912 potential visitors through our digital marketing, our print marketing, etc. So those platforms include our Visit Kosciuszko website, our social media platforms. We have in your packets, we have a little brochure that is our Engage Kosciuszko County Passports, which are about 6 different digital passports that have been very, yes, that one right there, have been great for our visitors to see, and even residents alone are using them since we have such an abundance of great things to do. Our print advertising has also been impactful. We were featured in at least 20-plus publications via Earned Media, so that means that was free. We didn't have to pay for that conversation about why Kosciuszko's fun to be and visit. Midwest Living, Travel Indiana Magazine, and Travel and Leisure magazines were just some to note. And we did advertise in about 16 publications. And annually, we print our Kosciuszko County Visitor Guide, and we distribute 50,000 of those across the county, across the state of Indiana. And we also polybag those, which means we put them in Indianapolis Monthly Magazine, and we're also trying to target the Cincinnati market to get those visitors to stay overnight. Just a couple of great, exciting projects that we did complete last year, and we're grateful for the county supporting one of them. We did receive a grant through the Indiana Destination Development Corporation to put a mural inside the visitor center. So that's hoping to engage more people to come inside and see that art across the way. We're thankful for the new digital sign that's up on US 30 promoting Kosciuszko County to those over 8 million travelers. And thank you so much through that ARPA. We're so happy that we're able to get that up and display that. And lastly, we rebranded to the Clearly Kosciuszko, which you see. We were Live Well in the Moment as our brand, and now we have officially moved over to Clearly Kosciuszko. So again, thank you for your support on that. So we're really happy for that as well. And lastly, we just wanted to say that tourism is an economic driver to Kosciuszko, as many of you know. It's an extreme investment, and we love all the things that are Kosciuszko and be able to share that. And it all just starts with the visit. It is important to me, as well as our board of directors, to represent the entire county to the best of our ability, and that visitors are an asset to that community as well. So thank you for your time this morning. Just a quick update. I'm happy to return more occasionally if you would like me to. And is there any questions you may have? The packets are just what we provide on a minimal basis at the visitor center promoting Kosciuszko in print form. We do visitor bags, anything that anyone would like. We do visitor bags for conferences, etc. That you're holding is little window cling promoting our digital guides.
That is awesome.
So if you're happy to, we have those that we're putting throughout the county. Some people prefer just to use a QR code and look on their cell phones versus a print. So we're trying our best to balance that need. So thank you so much.
That's a
Have a
tremendous
great-
package. I just want to share with you,
Yes.
I had a letter from a young man in third grade in southern Indiana who wrote me a letter
He did.
and wanted to know about Kosciuszko County. And I got it toward the end of the week, and I came out on the weekend, and your display that you have in the lobby,
Yes.
I got like
Did you get enough info
like
for
10, oh yeah, I got like
good.
$10 worth. I had to ship it to him.
No, it gets
Had to mail-
expensive, let me
had to
tell
mail
you.
it to him, It cost me $10.
you? Yes.
But I got a lot of really neat information for the young man to use in
Oh,
his
good.
report that he's putting together on Kosciuszko County.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you
So,
for sharing
A
that.
great schooler in southern Indiana. Look forward to getting your information, so.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Keep
Appreciate-
up the good work.
Oh,
Anything
thank you.
further, gentlemen?
No, thank you, Corey.
Thank you,
Thanks.
guys.
You're welcome. Propel US 30 East Level 2 update. You got anything to add to that? Oh, go ahead.
To the Visit Kosciuszko
That's
County
supposed
or
to be,
to
that's
the
supposed to
Propel?
be a joke, yeah.
No problem. So.
Welcome.
Thanks. Thank you for making time for us to come visit today and provide an update on where we're at with our Propel US 30 study. My name is Rusty Holt. I work for WSP. I'm the study manager for the Propel US 30 East study. So the last time we came to speak with you was right after the purpose and need document, so last summer. A few things have happened since then. We've made a lot of progress on our study. That's why we're here to provide an update where we're at level 2. So we released the level 2 report at the end of March and had a public comment period through all of April, which just closed. And then we're taking the public comment, and then we'll use that as we revise the level 2 report and move into level 3. So level 3 will be in the summer, and then we're still looking at the end of the year for the full report. As we mentioned in previous updates and meetings, because of the size and complexity of the US 30 corridor, we're anticipating 3 screening levels for the alternatives analysis. This report is level 2. We'll have one more after that. At each step along the way, we have fewer alternatives that remain, but the level of detail for each alternative will increase. So during the level 1 screening, which we call the universe of alternatives, we had 55 improvement concepts that came out of that screening into level 2. Those included a variety of things, including location-specific improvements as well as corridor-wide improvements. So that was published in November, had public comment period through December. We actually revised the report and provided a final version of that when we released the level 2 report. The level 2 screening focuses on specific intersections. So we want to look at each intersection, what looks best, what works best for that intersection, and what doesn't work, we'll exclude from the rest of the study. And then when we get to level 3, it'll be combining those level 2 pieces into segments of improvements. So a handful of things that appear in the level 2 document, just to make sure everybody's on the same understanding of some of the improvements. One is access management, which is really just a control of how people interact with US 30, whether they access it at a certain point or cross it. So it's a way to control that access in a way that is safer and provides good mobility for the people nearby, or balances those two out. Second is free flow facilities. So it's the level of access for the facility. A free flow would have no stop on US 30, so all the traffic signals would be removed and US 30 would not be forced to stop anymore. There's a lot of area between just removing the traffic signals and having a freeway. A freeway would be the highest level of a free flow facility. So if it's just removing the signals but having intersections in the middle, all the way up to fully access controlled freeway. So free flow facilities is a pretty big bucket of improvement options. Third is intersection improvements, whether we're just proposing to upgrade an existing intersection that's out there in some way, all the way up to a alternative intersection type, such as a reduced conflict intersection or a green T intersection or even a roundabout. All those things all fit underneath an intersection improvement category. And then the other things like crossroad overpasses, underpasses, where you would not have access to US 30 anymore, but could cross it without stopping, and US 30 wouldn't stop. And then improving, converting an intersection to an interchange, which I think we all know what interchanges are. So our level 2 screening picks up from level 1, as I mentioned. There were 55 improvement alternatives that came out of level 1, but 17 of those were classified as primary and secondary. Primary and secondary are ones that are practical and meet the purpose and need and the goals that were identified in the study. So level 2 is where we begin to apply and evaluate those at primary intersections in the US 30 East study. We had a 5-step process for each of those intersections. We looked at the same 5 steps for each one of them, just to make sure we were treating them all equally and answering the same questions at each one. The 31 primary intersections are the most important roadways through the study area where people access and interact with US 30 the most. So all the signalized intersections, as well as anything that's classified as a major collector or an arterial, are all primary intersections. We have 31, 23 of those are signalized for us. So to quickly step through our 5-step process, just to provide some explanation of that. The first step is trying to identify which of those 17 are applicable at one intersection. Some of them you would have to implement at multiple intersections, and since we're not doing that in level 2, we're just going to look at that in level 3. So level 2, we have 10 out of those 17 that remain. Of those 10, in step 2, we look at ones that change the traffic control type. So whether it's changing signalization, a roundabout, an overpass, things that change how you interact with US 30 were separated out in level 2 or in step 2. So 5 of those, and then 5 other ones that are just improving an intersection however it currently stands. Step 3 is taking those traffic control decisions and working through a decision tree with yes or no answers to figure out which type of traffic control works at each intersection and which ones don't. Step 4 is looking at each individual intersection and kind of expanding on the things that come out of step 3. So step 4 would say if it's a signalized improvement, here are 5 types of signalized improvements, which ones work and which ones don't. Same for unsignalized improvements, just trying to narrow down our list of potential alternatives. And then step 5, anything that came out of step 4, we provided a high-level conceptual footprint of what the improvement might look like on a area of impact basis, not the actual improvement itself, but like how big the improvement would be. We also put it on a map together with all the alternatives that we could fit onto it, just so you can see a scale of comparison between the different alternatives. And then from that, we also developed a table that ranks each alternative and gives it an assessment whether it's a low impact, medium impact, or high impact for the purpose and need that we identified, as well as environmental impacts, human impacts, right-of-way, and relative cost. All those are identified in our level 2 report, like what the different buckets are for each of those low, medium, and high. But it's all provided in one table after the intersection, just so we can see everything sitting next to each other. All that moves into level 3 report. There's also an interactive map on our website on propelus30.com where you can look at each of the 4 study areas. If you click on US 30 East, it shows all of our primary intersections. It shows a quick summary of our level 2 report at each intersection, as well as that footprint map to see at each intersection what everything looks like in a more quick and visual method than reading a 200+ page document. At the beginning of that document, we have a summary of all of our primary intersections, all of the improvement types, and a matrix of dots for things that we are considering into level 3. So if you look at a specific intersection, you can see like the 6 or 7 things that are being considered at that intersection, or you can see a particular alternative and all the intersections that it's considered at. We have 231 dots on that matrix, so we have a lot of work cut out for us in level 3. But we're looking at 5 to 6 things per intersection. I keep mentioning level 3, so that's where we're headed next. Now that the public comment period is done, we can start to put those comments together, see the results, anything we need to modify in level 2, but then also start working on level 3. Everything that comes out of level 2 is moving into level 3, and it will take each individual intersection, group them together into 3 to 5 mile segments, and see how things work together. So we wouldn't put one improvement directly next to another improvement if they don't work well together. We're just seeing what works well together for a 3 to 5 mile segment, and then moving that through an alternatives analysis to provide different improvement packages inside of that segment. It's a little complicated, I'm sorry. Like I mentioned, it's a complex corridor. So we know there's a lot of interest in the corridor. We want to make sure we get all the public feedback. So we're continuing to hold office hours. We're continuing to take comments on our website. Even if the level 2 comment period is over, anything that gets commented, we're still taking into account as we move into level 3. We'll be back later this summer after level 3 is published to have public information meetings. But we want to make sure we're still listening and providing opportunities for feedback. With that, I'll take any questions you might have about where we're at, where we're heading, or anything else that I might be able to answer.
So level 2 and level 3 will overlap as people want to have input for level 2, but they will both end at the end of this year?
So the whole process will end at the end of the year.
Okay.
Level 2, the public comment period to be placed into the document is finished. So we're compiling those comments now, and then we'll revise our level 2 document and finalize that. But anything that is still commented will impact our decision-making as we head into level 3.
Okay. Good.
So there's steps along the way. We'll provide a final document for level 2 at some point between now and when level 3 is published.
Okay, at any point in time during this whole process, somebody actually comments that they would like to have J turns? Where does a J turn come from? I have nobody in this world that would ever want a J-turn. I know the one at Coeste, I came from Fort Wayne the other day, a semi was turning, went past the intersection, was in the J-turn to make the U-turn to come back. And as they turned that corner, the trailer came out in westbound traffic, and we all had to take evasive action to get around that. That's a flawed concept. I don't know who came up with it, but it wasn't a farmer from Kosciuszko County, I know that.
I would agree with what Bob said.
It was horrific, because
Dangerous.
cars were going 3 or 4 different directions to miss that trailer on that semi.
Sure. So there have been a handful of comments that have expressed like some appreciation for J-turns, or reduced conflict intersections is what they're labeled as inside of our report, because they do improve safety in certain circumstances. I think NDOT is
I
continually
don't see it.
trying.
You can say that, but I don't see it.
For
Thank
certain,
you for that. I
certain
appreciate that. That's okay.
Certain instances, severe crashes would be reduced for right angle crashes. They have some other concerns or some things they're working through on design process, but
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Rusty, a couple other things I guess I'd like to maybe hit on. I know that you've kind of looked at the primary intersections. Will you look at any of the other intersections as far as with the level 3, as far as what's happening? Because I know you're looking at the primaries currently, but as we get into these other intersections, what's going to happen to those, maybe long-term?
Yeah, I neglected to mention that, but in level 3, it's every intersection in the study area. So we'll look at the concepts that were identified in level 2 at the primary, and then we'll look at ways that the secondary intersections interact with those. So every intersection will have some sort of recommendation inside the improvement packages, yes.
Okay. I also know that, it's really important to us, this US 30 is kind of that freight corridor. I mean, it's the artery that really makes Kosciuszko County live, just between getting workers here and getting our products that we make out. So, I mean, it's just a really important freight corridor. But along with that, we kind of have 2 small towns at each end of our county. We had Etna Green over to the west and Pierceton to the east. And I just really think that, those are a couple small communities that are, US 30 is like runs through their town, and trying to figure out a way that they can still have traffic with the 19 location. We have a lot of Amish and farm over there. I know I've beat that drum multiple times in the meetings we've had, just making sure that, there's farm equipment and Amish and bikes and stuff that we got to make sure that they can get across these intersections safe as we're looking at those future improvements along the corridor. And I'm glad to hear in this level 3, you're really going to start to look at this thing from a holistic perspective, because I know level 2, I think they're individual intersections, but especially when you start getting in the more urban area of Warsaw, how those interchanges play with one another we need to look at a 3 or a 5 mile corridor, not just this intersection, because what happens here is going to affect multiple intersections on down the way. So just good to hear that you're going to be looking at those types of things as you move forward, because it's going to be important to make sure we can, not only it's going to function for our local traffic, but also for the through traffic, so.
And you're going to have a meeting for the public here this morning? Is that correct?
After the level 3 document, we'll have a public information meeting.
Okay, so if we have people here that have questions, they can meet with you after the commissioners' meeting's over?
Sure, yeah,
Make yourself available, okay.
yeah.
So that'd be your opportunity. If you have questions or something, he'll make himself available to you. Thank you. Anything further?
Appreciate you
for
coming
being
in
here.
today,
Yeah.
Rusty.
Thank you.
With them now.
That's big, yeah. Yeah, if you don't mind, if you don't have business, you can meet in this room back here at any time if he wants to meet with you, if you have questions. Okay. Next, on our agenda, we have CABS, Marcy Arn. Good morning.
Good morning. How are
Hi.
you guys? I'm Marcy Art with Cardinal Services. I'm the Vice President of Programs.
Good.
And I'm presenting on behalf of CABS today. So CABS has been providing Kosciuszko County public transportation for over 40 years. In fiscal year '23, we provided 36,719 rides. And in a recent survey, 71% of our riders considers CABS their primary mode of transportation, citing the top 3 reasons for utilizing CABS is for medical trips, work, and shopping. The packet that you have before you is the 2025 NDOT operating grant application. We are requesting $507,836 in federal funds and $253,918 in state funds. And of course, this is all subject to change based on NDOT's approval. We do not have a capital request this year. So in your packet, if you have any questions about anything in your packet, please let me know.
Okay.
And then secondly, too, I wanted to let you know, I want to introduce Kristen Rude. She is the new CABS General Manager, and she replaced Steve Lockridge.
Good morning.
Morning, welcome.
Morning.
Well, I
Nice
just
to
wanted
meet
to bring you forward and welcome you, and congratulations, good luck. Thank you. You bet. Okay. So you're making grant application for two amounts?
Well, the federal portion will be $507,836. And so the total grant will be, the feds cover 50%, the state will cover 25%, which would be $253,918. And then we will come up with the other 25%, which will be $253,918 in locally derived income. And of course, this is all pending NDOT approval.
Are they asking for approval? Okay.
Rhonda, this is a grant request. We, excuse me, we need to approve, correct?
Okay. That was my question. I thought it was, but I wanted to double check.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you for your input. We'll entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion to approve the grant request by CABS. I got a comment to make afterwards.
Okay, I'd second that.
Moving to second, comments?
Marcy, I know that there's been a couple transportation studies going on currently, and I'm excited to be able to sit down with you because I know I was the one that sat down when you had your last NDOT review.
Yes.
And would just love to try and look at some of the information we're gathering from this current study and how we might be able to better serve our county overall. So I know I'd love to try and get some dates on the calendar that we can really maybe maximize or improve, the good work you're already doing, but how can we make it even more impactful? Because I know the transportation is really becoming something for a lot of our small rural communities for people to get to and fro that would love to see how we can use that same asset that we've already got and use it even better, so.
Absolutely, and we have some strategic planning around efficiency, and so, yeah, let's definitely find a time to meet.
Very good. Thank you for your report. You got what you needed? Welcome.
We need to vote, right?
Yeah.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'd like to welcome the esteemed mayor of the city of Warsaw to our meeting this morning. I was going to do that first of all, and then I got carried away, so. EMA, Kip Shooter, our emergency management agent. The sirens work too. When you had your,
That's good.
when you had your siren thing, I was sitting there and thought, aha, I knew that was coming. Didn't surprise me.
First
do you have
item,
for us?
I'm sorry. First item of business is an update and revision to the communications plan, coming to you from the Public Safety Communications Tech Committee. We reviewed this over the last few months, made several revisions and changes. One was the actual name of the plan itself, because it was originally presented to you just as the Kosciuszko County Communications Plan. Public safety, the word public safety wasn't in there. So we added that to make sure there was a clarification of what this actually is.
Connection, that's good.
A lot of what promulgated this was we waited the approximately year that we didn't want to make changes to the plan, didn't want to add other agencies from outside of the county. So we got all the bugs and everything worked out for our own county and our own radios and our own radio system. But we did find something that when we did open it up for outside agencies to be able to access our system was we had some requirements. If you look on page 18 and 19, we had some radio standards Specifically, it had to be, P25 Phase 2, because our radio system had to be that way. If they were not that particular type of radio, it would actually cut our capabilities in half. But there were some other things that we found would not apply to agencies outside of our county, specifically over-the-air programming, so what we call OTAP. Being able to program radios from my office, the computer in my office, and send that radio signal out to radios that when they're turned on, they update them and reprogram them. We have that capability. And we didn't want to have that capability to OTAP radios outside of our county and then them possibly come to us and say, oh, something happened to our radio, it got reprogrammed, it damaged it, or whatever the case may be. We didn't want that to happen. Also, a lot of the agencies that were coming to us were fire and EMS. Fire and EMS did not need encryption, but in our standard, we were requiring encryption, that they would have to have encryption on their radios. Only law enforcement on our system has to have encryption. So we found those errors and we added in some verbiage that allows those outside agencies access to our system without those restrictions. Also made some changes to the appendices. There is some confidential information in the appendices from the state of Indiana and the state of Indiana system. Just wanted to highlight that. And then we actually took the contacts of all the public safety agencies that you'll find on page 33 and 34 towards the very end, which is Appendix G. We actually took that out of the plan itself because that is changing so often, the marshals, police chiefs, fire chiefs, whichever. So that can be in the appendices, and we can make those changes without coming to you for approval. So we're bringing this before you to update the plan.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Motion.
Yeah,
I'd make a motion that we let Kip update the plan, or update the plan.
we accept the plan, okay.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good.
Thank you.
What else, do you have anything else?
Yes, I do. So second item is the State Homeland Security grant program. We're asking at this point for your permission to apply for $149,481 to provide security cameras for the exterior of the courthouse and our courthouse square here. We requested this last year. Grant was denied. Next Monday, we have CISA actually coming in here for security assessment of front entry, so a safe entry, that they will give us recommendations and hopefully support our grant project to the state. So just asking for your permission to apply for this grant.
Okay,
I'd make a motion to approve a request for courthouse security camera system.
is there a second?
I would second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good, Kip, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kip.
Sounds like you're cracking that whip.
There's lots to do.
Very good. County Attorney Ed Ormsby?
I have a memorandum of understanding between Wawasee Community Schools and the county. This memorandum of understanding would allow Wawasee Community Schools to install and maintain an antenna and radio repeater on a county tower that is in Milford at the intersection of 400 East and 1000 North for the cost of $200 per month, which is $1 per square foot. I would submit that MOU to the commissioners for consideration.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'd make a motion to accept that.
I'd second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I know we've done that with Warsaw Community Schools on the Claypool Tower as well, so the nice thing about that is I think they'll be able to communicate with the students without having to move their school buses around to different hot spots and locations so that they can still do their work. Thank you, Ed. County Administrator Marcia McSherry.
Yes, first up is a MACOG agreement for professional administrative services, and I'm going to have Carrie cover this one.
Yeah, this is for, to administer the grant. We had a grant with KEDCO that we're changing the grant administrator to have MACOG do that grant administration for us. So it is an OKRA grant, so you have to be a certified OKRA grant administrator. And MACOG is willing to do that for us for no charge. So it's just switching to the grant administrator, but it's a grant administrator or professional grant administrator services agreement.
Very good.
For a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any further?
Okay, next is the Justice Building furniture bids. We've gone through the bid process. We've had a pre-bid meeting. We received 3 bids for furniture for Circuit, Superior, Juvenile Courtroom, and all the jury rooms in the north part of the building, and side chairs and lobby furnishings. Office interiors, the bid was $158,804.99. Business furnishings was $209,917.46. KDA's bid was $291,060.76. I did submit these bids to Design Collaborative for review. Their recommendation is that we could not go wrong with either KDA or the office interiors. They've worked with both of those. Office interiors is the low bid, so I leave that to the commissioners for a motion.
Okay. I know you and I have talked about this at length, and I think I'm gonna make a motion for the office interiors at 158,804, but I do want to make it subject to actually seeing the physical furniture, not just a sample, but actually pieces of the furniture so that we can look it over, make sure that it's something that we are comfortable with.
Okay.
So that's my motion.
Okay.
I'd second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any further?
Next, I have the Justice Building parking lot electrical bids. We've pulled this out of the original bid for the parking lot reconfiguration at the Justice Building. We received 2 bids, one from D&D Electric. The base bid was $144,553, and Michiana Contracting, Inc., base bid was $169,000. The recommendation is to go with D&D Electric with the base bid of the $144,000.
Make a motion to approve D&D
Is there a
Electric
second?
for
Is there a
base
second?
bid.
Second?
All in favor, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good.
We have an emergency repair on a chiller on the roof of the Justice Building. We have a coil leak. I talked with the commissioners last week for emergency approval. This will ratify, the vote today will ratify that proposal. The core mechanical was a bid of $20,384. I have an itemized quote here. They have a bid or a coil in stock, one on the shelf, so this will get us the repair, and they can have that repaired in probably approximately a week's time. So hopefully we stay ahead of the warm weather that will be coming.
Yes.
I'd make a motion, we approve that if you're ready for a motion.
Yes, I am.
Second.
Moving and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Last, I have a proposal from Architectural Glass and Aluminum. During the renovation project at the Justice Building, we found that there were 3 windows. 2 of them was with extensive leaking, and we would like to replace all 3. The quote is for $18,600 for the 3 windows, and that covers installation. I did go back and ask for a review of that quote. They found another vendor with the same windows, but it was $300 more. We actually looked at a different type of window, but those came in considerably more than what the original bid was. So my recommendation is to go with the original bid in the amount of $18,600.
Okay, very good. Due diligence.
They started wallpapering on Friday morning last week, so give us a week and that should be done. Phase 2 or Phase 3 of the building is due to start after the 1st of June, June 5th, 6th, 7th, right in there with furniture moving in the next area.
Okay, things moving right along. Thank you.
That's all I
Appreciate your
have.
due
Thank you.
diligence on all. That's quite a plate full there. County Auditor, Rhonda Helser. Nothing today. Thank you, Rhonda. Any department head or office holder have business with the commissioners today? Hearing none. We'll look forward to seeing you back here on Tuesday, May 21. Okay.
See if we can get-
Oh, man, Bob. I mean, you got 5. I'll work on that. I don't have it right now. I'll work on it. What now? 574? 549 3322. Yes, wait for it. Conductor, am I going to see you later this morning? Hey. Thanks, guys. Take care. Yes.